Hey everybody. So I got the house to myself. I didn't really plan anything. I don't really feel up to doing anything. Um, I'm better than I was. I'm better than I was, not as good as I should be. Let's put it that way. It's gonna get dark real quick. I'm headed downstairs. So they gave me eye drops. And these eye drops are an antifungal or antibiotic. It's antifungal or antibiotic eye drop, right? And for starters, I have a bit of a sensitivity to putting stuff in my eyes, which I'm sure a lot of people do, but I don't really do, like, I never did contacts or anything, so I don't really know, like, what it's all about. But I don't like people touching my eyes or doing stuff to my eyes. And so I have a hard time with eye drops. And I was reading the paper. I don't know how important they are at this stage. I was reading the paper, and it can cause nausea, redness, irritation, pain. They use the fancy word photophobia, which I'm fairly certain, considering the symptoms, and when I walked outside, I felt like I was getting, like, stabbed in the face. I'm assuming photophobia is a fancy word for sensitivity to light. So yeah. So I used the eye drops last night, and I couldn't sleep. My eye kept watering. And the more it watered, the more my sinuses acted up. The more my sinuses acted up, the harder it was to sleep. And then blowing my nose all night and trying to clear out the airways. Got my nose all red and chapped up, and it's all just an awful, awful thing. Now I'm not sure what side effects or symptoms I have that are making me feel physically ill, but I feel significantly better now. But like I said, I go 75%. I'd say I'm about 75% to where I was, or 75% to feeling average. So yeah, I mean, my mood's a little better, my voice is a little better, and I don't feel like I'm being, tortured, I guess. So yeah. Further news. Depending on how this goes, and depending if I'm actually catching a cold or not, because I mean, it's the season, so it could be that I'm getting sick, and it just happens to coincide with the recent optical trauma. So it could be. And I want to make sure I'm not before I commit to anything. And I'm a little bit concerned. I'm honestly a little concerned. I went to the store for the guy's daughter that I help now, because he passed away, to pick her up smokes. And the cashier, which I don't really know her, like, honestly, I don't really know her, like, other than, saying hi. Like, she's a newer employee, which I go to the store, almost every single day, but she's a newer employee, and I mean, everything's been courteous and stuff. There's nothing standing out in the way of, like, the point is, we're like two strangers, we're cordial, but we don't really know each other. And she asked me what I was doing on the 23rd, and I was like, is she going to ask me out on a date? Like that's what I was thinking at first, but I was like, no freaking way. I was like, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. But I was like, I figured it to be a possibility, but I was like, no freaking way. But then she finally came out with it. She was like, will you be Santa Claus for my kids? One, other than the fact that I'm getting chunky, I I don't really have the body for Santa Claus, to be Santa Claus. 2, I don't know her or her kids. So it's just a little weird, but I don't know if she heard in the past I was, in fact, Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny for a photo studio, but it didn't require me to do a ridiculous amount of talking. And not that I can't do an okay impersonation, it's just the fact of my chill voice, the voice I kind of use on camera, the voice I use in certain situations is kind of just like, my chill voice. That's what I call it. I think it kind of borderlines between being, suave, like real smooth, and like I don't know what's a good like ASMR. Like I have an okay voice for ASMR if I kept my normal voice tone and didn't put any emotion into it, and I kept this persona, I guess. So I think it'd be borderline like suave or like serial killer. So I'm thinking like, being Santa Claus and trying to actually communicate for a period of time. If I can't keep it up, then I'd be like, I would either sound like, I don't know, like my normal, like I said, my normal voice, it's like somewhere between serial killer and suave businessman, and I just that's not really Santa Clausy. So I'm kind of like, I'm a little bit. There's a lot of reasons why I don't want to do it. There's a lot of reasons I do want to do it. It's kind of an honor to do something like that, whether I believe in it or not. That's kind of a big deal, whether anybody wants to, regardless of how people feel about it. I mean, it's kind of a big deal. And even though it's just a personal thing, I wouldn't mind doing it. It's just the fact that I don't know her kids. I may or may not be sick, and I have a week to decide. I like with the things going on in my life, like a lot of times, like with this status condition, with the eyeball thing and the possibility of getting the flu, like I already hate my life. So having this kind of stuff kind of puts me down a little bit more, and thinking about being Santa Claus kind of brings me up a little bit, because I'm like, that's really kind of cool, and especially if somebody would think that much to ask me out of anybody. But at the same time, it's really, 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 it's like super odd, weird. I don't even know. Like, there's not even a word to describe it. It'd be like, other than the fact that she sees me in the store every day, it'd pretty much be the same thing as walking up to some guy on the street and being like, hey, you want to come into my private house and be Santa Claus for my children? Does she know something about me? I don't know. Does she know me more than I think she does? Am I thinking it? Am I overthinking it? Like, the thing is, I don't think I'm going to get paid for it. Which, like I said before, kind of sucks. I could use the money, but being Santa Claus is kind of cool. Like, it's kind of cool. So, I'm not too upset about that, and it gives me something to do, it's something new and fresh. But it's just a really, I don't know how to feel about it. Like, I feel like there's like a setup, like I'm being set up for something. Like, who does that? And I don't know what to decide. I truly don't know what to decide. Like, the biggest part of me is thinking, like, what could go wrong? But then the naysayer in me is like, well, there's a lot of things that could go wrong. So it's a little bit concerning. I don't want to say no, because opportunities like this don't come very often. And as I said, it's not that big of a deal. Any moron drunk guy or being a mall Santa isn't really they don't have to search far and wide for something like that. Like I'm sure it's probably a little bit more of a screening nowadays, but there's a lot of stereotypes about mall Santas. So it's not like they need high qualification, but pretending to be, even if it is a mythical creature that doesn't really exist, pretending to be somebody that carries that much weight in history and society is just like, I don't know, it's a big deal to me. It's a big deal to me. Maybe I'm just being stupid. I'm probably just being stupid. That's pretty much where I want to end this. I just wanted to vocalize my thoughts. Hopefully I can think about it and let you guys know that I'm not dead yet. I don't know if you can see, but I can't even look at the light. But at this point, it's probably just red. It's not nearly as bad as it was. I'm going to call tomorrow and make sure that if I don't take those drops, I'm not going to have to, spoon my eyeball out with a melon baller due to infection. So yeah, I'm gonna, like, my logic is telling me that I should use the drops because it's better to be safe than sorry. But when I put those drops in my eyes, I cannot do anything, and I am miserable. Like, I was miserable last night. Like, you take my outlook on life, my outlook on this town, my outlook on the way things are going, and then you add complete misery to it. It was a lot to handle. The good news is being in that mindset and then having a physical ailment kind of distracts me from being too ridiculously upset, because I'm thinking more of how can I make this horrible sensation and feeling stop. I don't want to use the word pain because it was more of like a nagging uncomfortability. It's not. It hurt on occasion, but I wouldn't say. It wasn't like how people say chronic pain. I wouldn't say it's a chronic pain. It was more of like a constant irritation with periodic pain and discomfort that could range from scales of 7 to 10 on the nurse's little happy face chart. So it's pretty annoying. But I mean, I dealt with toothaches for a really long time. I can handle it. It's more of the fact that I can't see or do anything. Like, if I have a toothache, I can still watch stuff. I can still go outside and do stuff, but if I use those eye drops, I can't be in the sun. Like, I wore sunglasses almost all day today. And it was just, that's not really me, and I feel like my sunglasses are cool, but I don't wear them a lot because I just don't accessorize. It's just not what I do. So it's just a whole string of things. Like most things in life, it's just a whole string of things that add up to becoming a problem. It's like when you wake up in the morning and something goes wrong and you're like, oh crap, I'm in for one of those days, and it just compiles over and over and over. That's kind of what's going on here, and I'm feeling like, this Santa Claus thing is awesome, a great opportunity, something to do, and it gets me out of this humdrum mindset of, good God, when is it going to end? But if I'm ill, I don't want to jeopardize her kids, and if she has some sort of ill intent for some reason or another, I don't want to be put into jeopardy because I'm trying to do something that's relatively a good deed. So, I don't know. Ultimately, when it comes down to it, I'm going to flip a coin. So, I mean, what's the worst that can really happen? I mean, really, what's the worst that can happen? I get, chloroform thrown in the back of a van, and I get, videotape being tortured as a Santa Claus. That'd be pretty sick. Sick as in, disgusting, and sick as in, really cool. Oh, God, I am screwed up. But, alright. We're just gonna, like I said, she works in 2 days, and I'm gonna discuss it with her further then. I think I'll flip a coin in 2 days. If I am sick, I'm not doing it. That's for sure. But if I feel better, I'm just gonna flip a coin and be like, I'm gonna, ready for this thing I hate? I'm gonna YOLO it. I'm gonna yeet myself right into a YOLO.